Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and just people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting with Nick Barellano, the creator of Ask Aiko. Nick's groundbreaking AI assistant is designed to simplify daily life, offering quick answers, completing tasks, and providing personalized support whenever you need it. How are you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No, I was excited when I was reading about you. I was excited to see what you're doing because I know AI and everything around it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
exploding right now, and I know a lot of people have
Sure.
questions. A lot of people want to see what comes from it, and everybody's having their own take, and it's all super interesting. So yeah, I was super excited to see it. But yeah, no, where are you calling in from? Where are you located?
I'm here in the Philippines right now. I'm living here in around a county called Bacoor. So I'm planning to, move at least into Tagaytay with this project.
Okay,
To,
awesome.
well, for in hindsight, for those who are living in the US, Tagaytay is like Denver or somewhat higher temp of Denver, Colorado,
Okay,
because
awesome.
it's cold, the sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get cold. I'm in Iowa, and we get it. We get it good. So awesome. How long have you been there? Are you from the area? Are you newer to the area? You're a lifer?
Yeah, yeah. I've been here like I was a toddler, I think, because my mom and dad moved from the province and they live a bit in the inner city. Now they move into here in Bacoor around, I think, almost 30 or 25 years ago.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've never been there.
Oh, you should. I'll tour you.
Yeah, well, what do you recommend people do when they visit? Where would you take somebody on a tour?
Well, if I'm gonna be a tour guy, I'm not like a typical tour guy here in the Philippines that gonna go to malls. Because here in the Philippines, we're big fan of malls. But if you're passionate about the culture, the history of the Philippines, I'm gonna take you to museums. Lots of uh, great spots here in the province of Cavite, which where I'm from. So other than that, beaches. I'm gonna take you to the beaches. We have great beaches here in the Philippines. Uh, yeah, I think that's it. Like the history, the scenery, and the beaches, man.
Okay. Well, what about the food? What food do you recommend?
Oh, I'm not sure if you're aware of it or if you like, have a Filipino friend, but adobo is the best. Like, I can't really describe it here in the podcast, or I can't really put into words, but it's amazing. It's like a chicken with soy sauce soup or that sort of thing, but it tastes great. That's one of my favorites, food here.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. So awesome. Well, what can you tell us about what you do? What's Ask Aiko?
Well, so as Aiko is an AI assistant here for the Filipinos, um the well, I'm not saying the problem of ChatGPT and Gemini, but what the ChatGPT and Gemini isn't really, covering here in the Philippines is the language barrier. Um, ChatGPT and Gemini are great at doing excellent things, even cloud, but they're not really, focused on building uh a type of tool for Filipinos are not like proficient in speaking English or even writing English for that point. So I created Aiko or Ask Aiko is for the Filipinos that isn't really into speaking English but wants to learn about coding, doing science, math, any educational stuff here in the Philippines. The only problem is that um we have a lot of intelligent kids, intelligent teenagers here in the Philippines, but some of them are not really, embracing or really proficient in speaking in English because of their economic status or the way they grew up. A lot of scenarios, but the main target for Ask Aiko is to create an AI to let them explore how coding works, or how to do research project, or even creating a a wonderful story about our culture or even their experience in life, because we have a lot of great writers here, but they're not really, again, they're not really good at doing it in the English or writing in the English. And I think the main concern that I have is they're not really, showing their talent as a person or as a creative person because of that language barrier. So that's the bridge that Aiko or Ask Aiko is, doing. And that's the problem that I'm trying to solve here in the Philippines, and even hopefully, encourage the government to, adopt some AI applications like Ask Aiko to, help those rural places here in the Philippines, especially in rural schools that, is not really have that strong internet connection. But thankfully that we have Starlink here in the Philippines, and it's very very affordable. And I hope that a lot of people gonna, gonna use it, then try to apply the work of Aiko and help them, do great things.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like that. Providing more education and more reach for people that otherwise wouldn't have it. I think that's really
Mm-hmm.
important because there's people out there every day that are doing great things that nobody's ever going to hear from unless they have some sort of a platform or some sort of a way to reach those. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So Ask Aiko, it's mostly just for the Filipino community right now, or is there a vision for it to go elsewhere, or just kind of you're wanting to get really good just in the Philippines?
Right now, I just want to be, really great here in the Philippines, especially our dialects and languages. Because here in the Philippines, I think we have around 150 plus dialects here. A lot of, just a brief introduction. We have the main language is Tagalog, but we also have in the southern part of the Philippines have Bisaya. We have Kapampangan, Ilocano, that sort of thing. That especially in Bisaya, Ilocano, Kapampangan, it's not really, um, I'm just it's not really proficient in if you're doing in ChatGPT. Even though ChatGPT can understand broken English, but the work itself or the understanding of the work is not really, really um sticking to people because of that language barrier.
Okay, I
But
got you.
hopefully I can launch it to other parts of Southeast Asian region, especially in Singapore and Malaysia, where those language barrier is really, critical. And that's the spot where Aiko can really help those people.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like that. Real noble cause. So what got you started on this? What was the first inspiration that you said, here's a problem that I need to fix?
Oh, that's a great question. I think based on my own experience, because when I was in college, we we in our school we've done a lot of, outreach programs. And some of these outreach programs goes to, you know public elementary schools where not a lot of funding has happened to that school. Um the the they're not really, uh really speaking in English, that sort of thing. And the heartbreaking part for me is you see those kids have a talent. They have the raw talent of, speaking. They have a lot raw talent of writing. They even have the raw talent to, think differently than other kids. The main issue or the main problem that I saw that I've experienced is really the language barrier. Because um those kids, when they try to speak in English, they kind of, got discouraged, or they're feeling embarrassed to even try to speak English, which is heartbreaking for me. Because even though English is one of our, major second language here in the Philippines, but in the rural areas, um they really, avoiding doing English. And it's heartbreaking for me because you see those talents, you see those, incredible skills that they have, but they're not really trying to improve it because of the language barrier. And some kids even the heartbreak the heartbreaking part is um they're they're discouraged to do something about it. Like they have this talent, but they don't wanna try to improve it because of that, you know, discouragement. Because of, I think, because of their communities, they're not really, trying to do English or even speak in English because they sometimes, um, we have this thing called smart shaming when a kid starts to, do English, they think speaking English is part of the intellectual measurement of your intelligent, and that's just sad. And that's one of the reason why I tried, instead of trying an AI translator, I tried I instead point to a solution where, other than it translates or even helps them understand the work that they try to do, but to really excel on doing that work with the help of AI.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the core mission is really for AI is to help those, um help those break those language barriers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's your favorite thing about what you're doing?
Ooh, a lot. Really trying, really getting those results of, Aiko speaking fluently in Bisaya, where not a lot of, Filipinos speak, except on the southern part of the Philippines. And seeing it, excel on those parts, on those dialects, and really, excited to show it to a lot of people that, speaks a bunch of dialects or fluent on those dialects, and really help them, excel those work that they're doing right now with the help of AI. So that's one of the most, heartwarming thing about building this ICO AI.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I can see how that would be. What
Yeah.
what are some of the hard lessons that you've learned building this? You've obviously had some trial and error, some things work, some things
Mm.
don't. What's some of the harder things that you've had to overcome with it?
Ooh, that's a lot. But I think the main that really sticks to me is when sometimes Aiko becomes, you know, uh, hallucinates. That's one of the key problems of AI right now, especially in AI assistant or AI chatbot, where it's like giving it's hallucinating that it gives facts, but in reality it does not. That's one of the scariest thing, and that's one of the things that really keeps me at night. But I'm trying the thing that I'm trying to do to improve it is to really give it more data to improve the thinking process, in even, training it regularly to really avoid those problems. But that's one of the things that really keeps me at night, and hopefully in the coming months, or even the time when I launch Aiko, it's it's like minimizing those situations.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of that. So when you say hallucinates, what does that mean?
So it means, like, for example, let's say for Gemini, right? um let's say you're trying to, you know finding a cool spot in Iowa. When it gives the results, sometimes it gives the wrong place. Like, for example, you said for the cool place of Iowa, but the itinerary plan that it gives you is, itinerary plan for, when you're going a trip on Detroit, or even in Minnesota. Like, it's confident that it's giving this wrong facts, but it's not really, correct. It's not really, really helpful for you. That's one of the things that major AI chatbots like Gemini, like ChatGPT, and for unfortunately, right now in our development stage, like as Aiko, it's experiencing those types of hallucination of the AI chatbot.
Okay, I got you. That's interesting. Yeah, like I said, I'd never heard about it before, so
Mm.
that was really interesting. So who are the people you're trying to connect with? Who are like good connections, power partners, clients? Because you said it's not launched yet. What are you
Mm-hmm,
hoping to do
mm-hmm.
in the next, couple months? Who are some people that you'd like to meet?
Whoa, that's a great question. I think more on the people, the big decision makers in our education system, or even um in our um private sectors. Because here in the Philippines, we're still trying to, you know, avoid implementing some of the AI tools because of the things like, for example, it's expensive to operate or it's expensive to build. But with Ask Aiko, I can really help enterprises on minimizing those building blocks, or even minimizing those maintenance fee that they regularly do if they try to create their own AI intelligent or AI chatbot for their customer service. And for the education part, hopefully one of our key decision makers in our education department to, really try to at least implement ICO in the how the teachers teach our children. Because not of I'm not saying a lot of teachers or most of the teachers, but some teachers are really not, you know, um, excelling in certain key spots where English is the majority way to explain certain things, but they really don't connect to a lot of children who are, not good at doing that or even speaking in English or speaking in Tagalog, to be frank with you. So that's one of the two key persons that I hope that I can connect to one of the major decision makers and even our educational decision makers.
Okay, I got you. So some more general, just overall AI
Mhm.
questions for you. How is AI changing the way that we approach productivity at our daily tasks?
Oh, a lot. In terms of time efficiency, when you're working with AI, you're done. Or for example, your task usually takes around 4 hours to complete the task. It does in 30 minutes or so with the right context, with the right factual data. That's the big part of of AI application, especially if you're working on a research institute. You're working on these huge data sets. Usually takes months to even analyze it. With with AI, with machine learning, when you try to use this type of AI application, it usually helps you in hours or even in minutes. So that's one of the key major things that it really helps our productivity as as a researcher, as a creative person, or even a content creator.
So what about just your average person day to day? What are the biggest advantages of using AI tools in your everyday life?
Um, that's a great question. I think, like I mentioned before, even the time efficiency, the quality of the work, because with the help of AI, your work quality boost a lot. From I'm not saying the previous work that you've done is down low quality, but it's more on really bumps your work quality where it can it can work on a lot of industries or a lot of a lot of spaces where not a lot of good quality of work is really shown, or even low quality is accepted to the society because that's the way it is. So we're trying to break those, that the way it is, to keep pushing, to have great work, to deliver high quality task, that sort of thing.
Okay. Is there anything that I failed to ask or missed that you wanted to mention?
Oh, I think more on the pricing, because I'm if I don't know if you're aware, but like for example, for ChatGPT and Gemini, I think they cost around $20 a month or so, in a certain, if professional rates. But for Ask Aiko, the initial launch, it's free. So a lot of people, even those who can afford to pay $20 a month, can use the high quality of work of Ask Aiko.
Awesome. Well, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you or to learn more about Ask Aiko?
You can go to our website. It's https at askico.com. If you want to reach out to me, you can go to my LinkedIn page. It's Nick Barellano. Um, if you're interested to work on, building a custom AI with your company, message me on LinkedIn, and let's see what we can, do.
Perfect. Well, if anybody would like to get a hold of Nick, absolutely reach out to him. I'll take all that. I'll put it in the description so you don't have to hunt for it. We'll make it easy. Alternatively, if you're a little bit more shy and you prefer an introduction, just ask me. I'm more than happy to make that introduction for you. But other than that, yeah, reach out to him. He's doing awesome things for the folks out there in the Philippines. Super inspiring seeing that people are out there trying to, help lift others up. So I really enjoy hearing about that. If anybody out there would like to be interviewed, feel free to reach out to me. I'll have my link tree in the description as well. So feel free to book a time. I'd love to have a conversation. But other than that, Nick, I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you kind of telling us your story and your vision and everything that you're doing. It's awesome. It's super inspiring. I hope we can all get out there, help some more people, and meet some more people. All right.
No, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this platform to share the story or share my story.
It's my pleasure.